I'm your host, Dr. Joe Dispenza. Let's begin. I believe that if you can get two out of those three in order, if there's physical stress, emotional stress, and chemical stress, then there's got to be physical balance, chemical balance, and emotional balance. So let's just say you take all your vitamins, you take your drugs, you do your Pilates, you do your core power, you get massage, acupuncture, chiropractic, you run, do all the things, but you're still in a toxic environment where you're responding and reacting to the same conditions emotionally. Well, your body's going to stay in the past because the emotion is keeping you connected to the past. So what happens then, this happens numerous times and the people that do come to our work, the chemo didn't work, the surgery didn't work, the radiation didn't work, the vegan diet didn't work, the ketogenic diet didn't work, the yoga didn't work, nothing was working. And so then this is a point where the person says, nothing outside of me is changing what's inside of me. And we just had a cancer researcher on the stage that had stage 4 sarcoma in her uterus that metastasized everywhere. There's no evidence of her disease in her body any longer. Now, do I appreciate medicine? Do I appreciate pharmacology? Yes, I do. And I think for acute health conditions, that medicine has a really great handle on acute and crisis situations. When it comes to chronic health conditions require a lifestyle change, period. You got to make different choices if you truly want to do it. So 100 years ago, 75 years ago, you get diagnosed with a health condition. You went to the doctor and he said, you need this organ taken out, you need this type of treatment, and I'm the authority. You have no access to the information that I have, so just do what I tell you. Right. And everybody signed and informed consent, and if my gallbladder's not good, take that out. If my uterus isn't good, take that out too. Take out whatever you want. So then fast forward to today, you get a diagnosis. What happens now? People go, oh goodness, thanks for the diagnosis, and they go home and they research everything about the health condition. Why? Because information is available now through technology. So they go back to their doctor and they say, gosh, I want to try this other treatment, I want to try this alternative thing, and the doctor either says, I don't know anything about that, or that's trash. And the person now looks squarely at the doctor in the eye and says, time to find a new doctor. In other words, people do the best when they feel good about the health care that they're choosing, right? So they're taking their power back now to be able to say, maybe there is another way. So the pharmacology that we use when we're altered, either with anxiety or depression or cyclic mood patterns or whatever it is an attempt to create chemical balance in the body. However, if you're still reacting to your ex in the same exact way, or you're still always predicting the worst thing that could happen to you in your future and embracing the emotion of that event, you're conditioning your body into anxiety, and you'll have a panic attack. And yes, the pharmacology will help to create more balance, but your response and reaction to the environment somehow causes you to become dependent on that exogenous substance. Now, I don't have a problem with that because everybody's at their own point in evolution. My mother just listened to anything the doctor said, even when I said to her, Mom, your blood pressure is up because of stock market. She didn't want to hear that. She didn't think that she had to go to the doctor through all these tests and all this stuff. And of course, that's what it turned out to be. So there's a greater listening that's happening in the world now because of information. That it's the 4-minute mile. That person that had the sarcoma that stood on the stage was a cancer researcher that told her story. That's the 4-minute mile. I'm watching 1,500 people in the audience leaning in. They're witnessing truth right in front of them. Now they're conscious that there's another possibility that they were unconscious of. And she doesn't look vegan, and she doesn't look slim, and she doesn't look young and buffed and like a movie star. She just looks like a person. A normal person. And invariably somebody in the audience listening to truth. She's speaking truth right now, telling her story about how hard it was to overcome herself, how hard it was to overcome her body when she was in pain and she didn't feel like doing the work, she did it anyway. To overcome her doubt, to overcome her fear, to overcome all of those things and believe in a future that she can't see or experience with her senses yet, but truly understands the science of how that takes place. Once you understand the what and the why, the how becomes easier. So we use science as the contemporary language to demystify the process of personal change and transformation. It is the language that we use that doesn't exclude anybody. We don't talk tradition, we don't talk religion, we don't talk culture, we don't talk spirituality, because that's going to divide the audience. So we create the scientific model. That's the first point. Learn it, be present with it. But the next step is you got to be able to teach it back. So in our audiences, when we explain things and we're combining quantum physics with neuroscience and all neuroendocrinology and all that stuff, once I finish the concept, you're going to have to turn to Jonathan and say, okay, let me just explain this. Because if I got to fire and wire this in my brain, I got to understand what I'm doing and why I'm doing it. And nothing left to conjecture, nothing left to superstition, nothing left to dogma. You understand exactly what you're doing and why. And when you understand the meaning behind it, your prefrontal cortex turns on. And when it does, the powerhouse turns on. And you could get an ice bath and know nothing about it, the benefits of an ice bath, get an ice bath, and you could really have a really bad response. You can get some knowledge about what to do when you're in the ice bath and the value of it. And once you understand that and you get in the ice bath, you will actually have positive effects on your immune system, where when you didn't know what you were doing and assign meaning to it, you had a negative effect. So the person then who has the intention and the understanding, and we set up the conditions in the environment, and we give them numerous opportunities to get beyond themselves, numerous opportunities to practice and evolve their experience. Our research shows that if you do that for 7 days, the number of metabolic changes, metabolites from the cell, thousands of metabolites that are being released in the brain and body, suggests that the person is literally, their body's believing they're living in a different environment. Now here's the weird part. They're in a ballroom. There's nothing really amazing happening in a ballroom. I've been to thousands of ballrooms. They all look the same. And yet the body's looking like it's in a very enriched environment. It's looking like it's in a different place. So when you have evidence and testimony, and you have evidence in scientific measurements, I think evidence all of a sudden becomes the loudest voice. And it only takes one person or two people to break that 4-minute mile. And then all of a sudden, just like an infection spreads amongst the community and creates disease, all of a sudden you see health and wellness become as infectious as disease. There's a dramatic transformation in biology. So now that that's possible, now that people are aware of that possibility, now it's in their consciousness, and consciousness is awareness, and information allows us to become aware of what we were unaware of, and that's what life is about, to evolve our experiences. And some of those people are dependent on pharmaceuticals and dependent, and I never say stop taking anything. I always say, keep going to your doctor, keep getting the scans, keep getting the tests. You need feedback to let you know what you're doing is correct, and then make another choice if it isn't. But a lot of people actually cross that river and wind up on the other side, and those are the people that we're studying, because their blood is rich with a lot of information that suggests that there's a very different experience going on inwardly.